I think it's time for another Daryl Hall and John Oates discussion, as if there was a time to talk about Daryl Hall and John Oates. Hello again, everybody. I'm Michael Douglas, and welcome to this edition of Dr. Pundit, where we talk about music, not medicine. And on this edition of the show, it's another line items. This is where I talk about 3 items that are related in some way, and in this case, 3 tracks off their 1981 album, Private Eyes. And why am I thinking about this album? You know, it can be something as simple as I heard I Can't Go For That, No Can Do on the way to work today. And I thought back to, wow, when I bought that record, it was a 45 because I couldn't afford to buy the album at the time, and I didn't get the album for another 9 months at the time of my birthday party in October of 1981, believe it or not. But I digress. Yes, line items. This is really not an album review of Private Eyes, but sometimes I think about this album from time to time, and I probably listen to it maybe every other year throughout all of its tracks, the complete album. And it's an album that I've never really abandoned, and it was an album that I probably wore out the vinyl on a couple of occasions because I know I bought it more than once, because I received it as a gift in October of 1982, and I apologize. 1981 is when it came out. I didn't get it until October of 1982 when I started high school. Private Eyes, the album. Anyway, 3 line items from that album, 3 tracks from that album that really resonate with me. One of them was one of 4 released top 40 hits from the album, and 2 are tracks that if I'm going to play a song from the album, it's going to be one of these at any one time. As a matter of fact, it's in one of my 80s playlists, and I'll get to that in a second. So what are the 3 tracks? Well, one of them was a top 10 hit. Did It in a Minute, the number 9 hit from the spring of 1982, the follow-up to the number 1 mega smash, I Can't Go For That, No Can Do, and then 2 other tracks, Mano a Mano and Unguarded Minute, okay? But I just want to say, Private Eyes is a great album. I'll get around to reviewing it one day, but these are 3 tracks that I play whenever I seek out that album, and I may throw another one on for good measure because I like them all on the album. So let's talk about the album's success very briefly. This was their second album in the 1980s, but one could argue this was the album that put them over the top and made them the household names that they were in the 1980s. Of course, Voices came out in 1980. Kiss on My List, You Make My Dreams, they're both top 5 singles. Kiss on My List was the number 1 hit, but Private Eyes, released in the fall of 1981, really put them over the top. Of course, the title cut, the song that drove the album. And then around Christmas season, late 81, early 82, I Can't Go For That, No Can Do, which was also a number 1 R&B hit. A white duo, Blue Eyed Soul, hitting number 1 on that chart. I remember those times well. And then Did It in a Minute in the spring of 1982. I also bought that 45. To me, should have been a much higher than number 9 peaking song. It's just a very infectious song. When I think of Private Eyes, the album by Daryl Hall and John Oates, I always play that. I just always do. But perhaps the other 2 tracks, Mano a Mano and Unguarded Minute, I do play, and I think out of both of those, I think could have done well as singles, but the song Unguarded Minute, which was the B-side to I Can't Go For That, No Can Do, and that's when I really started to play it before I got the album, is a kind of yacht rock sounding track that, besides having the word minute in it, like Did It in a Minute, it's kind of like a hard rocking guitar yacht rock type of track that talks about a minute of, or a brief moment of, letting one's guard down and the perils that can occur in a relationship when it happens. Great lyrics. Unguarded Minute, Watch Out, There's an Accident in It. Yeah, great track. You should play that when you get a chance. So there's that track. And of course, Mano a Mano, like the title says, hand in hand. It applies to relationships. It applies to anything where brothers are in arms, that kind of thing. Just a really happy song. don't really have much to say about it other than I like it, and I always play that song, just like Did It in a Minute, whenever I'm playing any track from Private Eyes. So there you have it. 3 line items from the LP Private Eyes by Daryl Hall and John Oates. These are 3 tracks that I play on a regular basis. I just thought I would feel the need to talk about them. I hope you enjoyed this kind of spontaneous video. I think I'll be doing more of these on the channel. And I'm Michael Douglas, and if you like what you see here on the channel, please don't hesitate to like and subscribe, because that benefits me, benefits the algorithm. I can give you more of these videos, all of that stuff. But as I always say, I would do these videos for 1 subscriber because I just like doing them, imparting my experience and information out there for the benefit of all YouTube mankind, I suppose. And until next time, as the late great Barry White always used to say, let the music play, and I'll see you on the next one.